Yo, what's up? I'm super pumped you decided to check out this video. I wanted to give you a little context as to what you're about to watch. You're about to watch a 1 hour long presentation I gave to about 35 people at a private event I had called Icon. What it's going to go through, think of it as like the new school influence. If Robert Cialdini wrote the book Influence for Social Media, that is what you are going to watch. So if you have a short attention span and you can't pay attention long, you might as well just go away because it's not for you anyways. But if you're a smart person like I think you are, you'll enjoy this. Anyways, we're gonna get it. So these are the six triggers of social influence, and I've titled it How to Build an Army of Raving Fans. And if you don't do these 6 things or are not working on these 6 things, I don't know if you can be successful as what I would consider an influencer or somebody putting out content, because all of these qualities kind of work together, and they make what is your image and your persona online, which in turn builds trust, authority, credibility, and makes people buy from you. And I would urge everybody who's going to put something out, you should be selling something. Like, you should have a product or a way to monetize what you're building, or else that's just a straight ego thing. And if you're building it just to get followers, you have to work your ass off and get millions of followers before you see any type of good revenue. Most YouTube influencers and Instagram influencers are broke. They have, by the time they pay teams and help them edit, by the time they take pictures, they run their shit, they edit videos so their eyes bleed, and then they get their YouTube ad check, and it's nothing. Or they get, a fit tea company goes, we'll give you $100 for a video. Like, and now you have to sell your soul for $100 because, let's face it, bills are due. Like, and at the end of the day, there's a lot of things, like, and as you get bigger, like, people are going to throw numbers at you, and just have to figure out what's your integrity's worth, because I've made a couple poor decisions in the past, but, like, bills have to get paid, and it's a business, so keep that in mind as I'm going through. So the first thing is, you guys heard the term polarization. I talk about it a lot. I think that that's why it's first. I think this is the most important thing, to be polarizing. So polarization, polarizing, boom. Most everybody you guys follow online, read their books, go to their events, they're polarizing. They have qualities about them that make them stand out from everybody else. Now, I've narrowed this down to like pretty much 3 main things that I think if you guys work on, you're going to be okay. Like, and tomorrow I'm gonna do an entire talk about polarization, breaking it down like even deeper than this. But so the first thing is obviously style. This is the only bit that I'm going to talk about style in this event, but I do think it's wildly important because your image and what you're wearing is the first thing people see when they see a picture of you, when they see a video of you, and they are judging you right away. I know Roy's in the back. I didn't see, but Roy's a cyclist. Like, his image on his bike that he rides, his helmet that he wears, he sells cycling services. Those are triggers for people to hire him for his service. And if you're trying to lead, and we talked about this a lot yesterday, what you're portraying on Instagram, you have to show a lot of things to build trust, credibility, and authority, be polarizing, but you also need to show things that, yes, I make money, or I can show you the way. Like, if you're a fitness guy, you should have abs. Like, you can't be a fat personal trainer anymore. It just doesn't happen. Like, Instagram stories ruined you if you're a fat personal trainer. But it's your style is first. Like, and I'm not going to get into what you should wear because that's different. I just urge you guys to look at your market. Once you guys figure that out, look at the people that are leading your market, and how do they dress, how do they look, what attitude do they have, how do they present themselves, and either you conform into with them, because obviously if they have a following, there's nothing wrong with following somebody or modeling them, because if it's working for somebody that's successful, chances are it might work for you. But you still have to, but there's also, most of my strengths and my powers have come from doing the fucking exact opposite of what everybody that's winning is doing. And that is how you dress. Is everybody wearing suits? You're a bad boy. You're wearing leather jackets and cutoffs. Like, is everybody, is the bad boy, the most popular? You wear suits, or you dress like a preppy business casual and you look. And then there's also things you can put into, your look to insinuate. Like, I call them, like, I have a whole presentation. And if you're listening to this, I'll link it below. It's called 7 Status Triggers. It came with my book, 27 New Laws of Style, if you guys, I don't know. If anybody wants that book, doesn't have it, just shoot me a message after this and I'll send it to you. It's only $5 anyways. But I gave a presentation which is like, and really there's like, status triggers just insinuate little things as well. Like, I referenced Roy in the cycling. Cycling shit's expensive. I fucking love riding my bike, but there's a difference between a $100 pair of shoes and a $500 pair of shoes. I see a $500 pair of shoes. Like I wear a lot of rare sneakers. Like I spend money on footwear. I wear a lot of Gucci. I don't want to spend $500 on shoes, but when people see me and they're watching me and they see me just casually tag a $700 pair of sneakers, what does that say? That says, oh, he can buy $700 sneakers. It doesn't say that I'm a rich, arrogant prick. It just says that I have the means to buy expensive stuff. That's what you want to do. You want to insinuate things with what you're wearing, like to trigger the specific people in your market. Like if I was talking, that's why on the other aspect, I wear a lot of Vans. I attract a younger demographic. I talk to Savannah all the time. I ask her who she's following, what vloggers, what are they wearing, because chances are if you're trying to do anything on Instagram, you're going to be targeting a younger demographic. Like it's just happening. Like, above 35 is not as active on Instagram. Like they're on Facebook. So if you want to attract older audience, you have to be on Facebook. But with Instagram, like you got to look at what younger kids are wearing. What are you going to do? They wear Vans, they wear Converse, they wear, they wear like hypebeast stuff, which is like the Supremes and the very rare stuff. Those are status triggers, and they see people. That's why you see a lot of bigger vloggers. They wear that shit. Some of it's cool, but a lot of it's just to say, yeah, I can get this. And it's saying fuck you without saying fuck you. So it's just like always keep that in mind. That's why I think style is a very way. And the good thing about style is you can always change it up. You don't have to look the same this year as you do next year. Like it's every day you can wake up and be somebody different. I would just urge you to kind of have a good, solid foundation of what image you want to portray, who you're kind of expecting that to attract, and just being mindful of it. Because I think a lot of people, especially at seminars too, like a lot of people don't fucking give a shit, and it's like it's annoying, and it brings down their value and their status. So that's the first thing is your style. Next up is going to be what I call better than average content. So I've kind of been coining that term for the last year. The better you guys get at making videos, taking pictures, making websites, like you will make more money from that. Those are skills that are gonna always pay you. But when you're putting your stuff out online, you have to understand that if you want a 100% most professional page, it's gonna cost you. It's expensive. Photographers charge you a lot to take pictures and edit your shit. Okay? To hire somebody to follow you around is an employee, a contractor, a freelance employee that you have to pay for. So what I like to term better than average, and that's because when I was a BMX racer, I ended up turning pro, but I was not good enough to be a top pro. And that was like a realization I had as an athlete, and if there's athletes in the room, maybe you've felt that way too. I wasn't good enough to win the Olympics. I was too good to be an amateur though. So that creates this weird leeway of shit that you don't know, and you're depressed and you're like upset and you don't know what to do. But taking that in terms of with the content you're putting out online, everybody follows friends of theirs on Instagram. Those are regular Instagrams. What is the difference between them and you? You should be better than average. You don't need to be professional unless you are trying to be a pro photographer, a pro videographer. If you're trying to get paid for a specific skill set, then you should be the best. It should all look professional. But if you mix in videos that are not quite as good as some of the shit you see, but way better than what everybody else sees, and your pictures are just a little bit better than what your friends post, but not quite, professional photography studio level, that's what I call better than average, is right in the middle. It's more attainable for regular people. To do, because like I said in the beginning, you're going to be developing a lot of skill sets as you try to make money online. If you find that you're really good at photos, then by all means go all in. But you have to have a better than average skill set on everything, and I think it's just more attainable for everybody in the room to achieve this level. And I don't know what that specific level is. I just know that even on my own Instagram, my own content, my stories, now what I would consider very professional quality. When I started, they were just better than everybody else's, just slightly. Obviously, I saw that I had a skill set there, and I was very good at it, so I kind of went all in, and I developed that skill set. Now it's I never knew that I would be taking as many photos as I do now, so I'm trying to develop to be photogenic, which is a skill in itself. Because when you're paying somebody to take pictures of you, they're there for let's say an hour. We're probably going to take 100 pictures. If you suck at taking photos, you might get 4 good ones. If you're good at taking photos, you're going to get 20 to 25. So that's a skill. You develop it, you get more good pictures. That's why now I bring 3 to 4 outfits to every photo shoot, and I can get 10, 15, 20 photos and have content for 20 days. So because that's a skill set. I developed it. But that's the point, is get better and better than average becomes with just spending more time editing your videos, spending a little more time, instead of just using the Instagram editor for your pictures, you put it into Photoshop or Lightroom and you start fucking with it. And you just, like, and I use the term fuck with it because you don't know what's going to look the best on every picture. You just kind of fuck with it until you find one that works. But that may take an extra 10, 15, 20 minutes of your time, and then you post that. That's what better than average is. That's because when people are scrolling your feed, or if you're doing YouTube videos and they see you pop up, your shit stands out over all the other regular stuff. And this past weekend, myself and Jason Capital were talking, and it's really loud. I'm just messing with you, Danny. Keep eating your candy. I'm just kidding. But me and Jason Capital were talking, and we were like, you know, what are people doing on Instagram? Like, who are they following? And this is questions I urge you guys to always be having with yourself. It's like, who are they following? What are they looking at? And he kind of had an epiphany because of what I said, and I was like, most people follow their friends and us. I was like, but there's something, and I say us generally as in influencers, celebrities, marketers, people that are selling to them. That's what their feed, and I'm sure if you guys look at your feed, it's probably full of a bunch of that shit. Mine is, you know. But the key is most people's friends don't post on their Instagram. They only post the perfect picture. And if you're not good at taking photos, how often do you think you're going to get a perfect picture? So what's showing up is you the more you can post. So that's the point there. And that's kind of going into another one I talk about later, which is consistency, but later in this talk. But that's better than average content. The more you can develop your skill sets in showing the world like your best self in a enhanced format, I think the more money, more followers, and more trust you're eventually going to build. So that's number 2. And then the last thing is massive conviction and belief in what you're talking about. People are very uncertain. They don't have good leadership roles in their life. They don't have good fathers. Maybe they don't have good mothers. They don't have any direction. So they are searching for people to take a stand and believe in what the fuck they're saying. Like, I believe everybody should make better than average content. I believe everyone should take care of their style. And that bleeds out into everything that I preach. So over time, and enough content comes out, you have this massive conviction and belief. People trust your opinion. Now, that could be used for a lot of fucked up shit. I mean, Hitler comes to mind. Like, you could have very strong beliefs that do some fucked up shit, but people follow you if they believe in your messaging. And that's not saying that you can't change your beliefs and change. I mean, I've changed a lot of my beliefs and things that I did, you know, like 2 years ago as to where I am now. But when you're talking about it, people will only come to you if it's like, that crayon's blue. Like that crayon better be blue. It could be yellow, but it's fucking blue. Like, look at that, it's fucking blue. Like, is that blue? That's blue. Looks fucking blue to me. Like, you have to talk to people with conviction. Like, and that has to come out with your messaging. And that comes with believing in your product and believing in what you say and actually being a product of what you do. And, you know, like, it's very easy for somebody to be like, I do keto, I believe 100% in the keto diet, if they're standing there looking at you and they have a six-pack. Or I believe in, SEO, and they pull up their computer and they show you 75 websites all ranked on the first page of Google making them money. That's like, so they have conviction and belief, but they also have proof. When you combine those two, you make money and you get followers. So those are the 3 things. And I mean, there's a lot of aspects. I said I'm going to talk about polarization more tomorrow, and I'm going to help you guys map out your guys' like how to be polarizing, specific like questions to ask yourself, and you're going to get all that tomorrow. But those are the 3 main things. If you nail those things right, wherever you are now, however many followers you have, you'll get more trust and more authority with your current followers, and you will start gaining followers because you will be. And you know, the thing about polarization, when you have massive conviction and beliefs in something, you need to understand that you are only going to attract 50% of the people. The other half is going to fucking hate you. And that's okay. Like, let them hate you because that's good. That means that you're evoking emotion and you're pulling, you know, you're making them like question themselves, and those are questions and things that need to happen for people to follow you. And just be ready. And that's another thing too. If you're the more polarizing you are, the more hate you're gonna get. So if you start portraying that, you need to understand it's got its repercussions. You know, if you can't handle that, then being an influencer or an influencer probably isn't your cup of tea. You should be making websites behind the scenes, not getting talked about. I mean, because if you get big enough, you're going to have hate forums. You're going to get comments on your friend's Instagram about you. You're going to get comments on, I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm assuming my daughter's going to experience something. Like, you know, people have talked to her. Like, you don't know what, I mean, Elliot, I don't know if he ever is going to share. I hope he does today. But I mean, there was a whole forum dedicated to like why people didn't think his wife was hot enough to be with him. Like, these are things that are the reality of the path that nobody talks about, and you're just supposed to be okay with it. Like, it sucks. But, you know, on the other end, it's like when you're impacting millions, 100,000 people, and you're making a high six-figure living doing what you want, there is a trade-off. So just be aware of that if you want to be polarizing. So next up is what I call extreme authenticity. Now, the more you start showing up on people's social medias, and we talked about this a lot last night with a lot of the guys, what you're portraying and what you're showing, like, it has to be authentic and it has to be true to you and it has to be showing who you are as a person. But you have to also, like I said, that's where the status trigger, it's a balance. You have to be authentic, but you also have to show and be living a life that would intrigue people to follow you. But with authenticity, there's three main categories that I like to talk about. Excuse me, that I want to mention, is showcase your flaws. People's guard instantly goes down if you do two things. One, they feel like they relate to you because they have a similar issue, like low self-esteem, low confidence, you know, body dysmorphia. Maybe you are cross-eyed in one eye. Maybe you like are a little overweight, or you have a problem eating. Like, all these things, like insecurities to you, the shit that you don't want people to talk about, that is what you talk about. And it does a lot of things. One, it makes you very vulnerable. And when you're vulnerable to people that don't know you, it's a powerful bond. They're drawn into you. They want to learn more from you. They feel like they're like you because everybody has insecurities. Everybody has shit that they hate. You know, so I mean, like my teeth are still an insecurity of mine. I just haven't, you know, gone and taken care of them yet. But I started making YouTube videos, and my teeth, like I showed everybody last year. Like, tomorrow we'll have a TV. Maybe I'll go into the dark folder on YouTube, and it's like all the comment I get. There's hundreds of comments about my teeth. So what do? Sit back and worry about it? No. I made a video talking about them. And by doing that, when you own your insecurities and when you showcase your flaws, it takes the power away from everybody else. And Eminem did that good. That's like the whole scene in 8 Mile. It's like a beautiful part of the movie where he's just like, you know, he basically takes the words right out of the guy's mouth, like, tell him something they don't know about me. Like, I'm trailer trash, you had sex with my girlfriend, like, my mom's poor. Like, he said it all, and then the rapper was just like, ugh. If you guys haven't seen that clip, like, just watch it. But basically, what he did was he reversed he took the power from him. Because people have power over you if they know that they're controlling you by owning your insecurities. Like, oh, your eyebrows are crooked. Oh, I can't trust you. Fucking your eyebrows are all flat. Be like, I know. When people look at me, they get weirded out about this eyebrow. I'm sorry about that. But anyways, let's talk about this. Like, owning that, acknowledging it, but then you just keep going. Like, being able to do that and openly talk about these things as we move forward. And the internet's getting more and more transparent. I mean, eventually we're going to have, like, VR glasses, and people are just, like, on the computer while they're looking at you. Like, I mean, weird shit's happening. So, and then second one being, so first you showcase your flaws, insecurities, and also mistakes. I didn't really touch much on mistakes, but if you fuck up, own the mistake to your people. Like, it's a vulnerable action, and naturally you're probably going to fuck up. You may get pissed off, make an angry video. Don't take that video down, but tell them why it's angry. I mean, I've made a lot of angry videos. But own that. And same thing with mistakes. Like, talk about, like, I've failed business-wise doing this. Like, I failed doing this. Like, when I started working out, like, I overate 4,000 calories a day for 6 months, and I got fat. I failed. These things establish credibility and authority, and also they keep you vulnerable to showing that you're willing to change and you're willing to learn, which is leadership qualities.
Ryan, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, man.
So you were just saying, like, you know, let's take weight loss
Mm-hmm.
as an example. So you overate and then you gain fat.
Mm-hmm.
As a coach, yeah, like, it looks super awesome sharing that, and that's like saying that was one of your mistakes. But what if, like, you already have a lot of clients who look up to you? What do you like? It's kind of like being teaching other people how to get YouTube subscribers and losing 10,000 subscribers in a week.
Mm-hmm.
How do you still keep that credibility?
Well, you have to understand, like, I mean, naturally, people are just not going to like you. Even people that are paying you might not actually like you. Like, I think it's, you have to kind of disconnect, and this goes with all this I'm going to talk about. Like, there has to be a level of disconnection that you carry with what you're doing and what you're talking about, too. I mean, you need it to be authentic, and it needs to be really you, but you also can't be attached. Like, so-and-so might hate me if I should. And honestly, like, if people, like, in that case, like, let's say that you came out and you talked about this. Like, I know you said you're doing keto? Or, oh, okay, fuck you. All right, so you have conviction and belief. I like it. You need that. Fuck keto. Like, Essen will probably ask to talk different about keto. But it's like, when you start doing these things, naturally you're going to turn people away. And some of them might be paying clients and it sucks, you know, but if this is being true to yourself and moving forward, like that client or people that you're losing, they'll come right back in another person's form. Yeah. You're going to attract the right people. And that's the thing, like it's getting clear on where you're going, like, because you don't want people that don't like believe in what you're talking about.
100%.
Like, and I mean, it is a level of disconnection. So you kind of got to be acknowledged. Like if you start talking about something and like you lose a lot of clients, it'd be like, okay, maybe I fucked up. Like, you know, like, but don't be afraid to evaluate yourself.
Right.
And be like, no, I'm standing with this. I'm cool. Like, it's like if somebody came out and was like, you know, I fully support Donald Trump right now. Like, they're gonna lose some fucking people.
Yeah. Word.
Like, that's just gonna happen.
Word.
Like, I mean, it's you know, and like religion, like, I mean, the things that like make you stand out, religious beliefs, political beliefs, like conviction in what you're doing, all those things that make you wildly polarizing also piss a lot of people off. So it's like you just gotta, like, it's a level of disconnection. I think you become insensitive to it as you've been doing it long enough,
Right.
to where like it just like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, I think like the best thing about being polarizing in my own life was it used to be that I would have clients, I would get on the phone, prospect, and they would be like, yeah, I'll think about it. And then a week later, I would see another coaching them, and that would fucking hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's at a point where like people still approach them, but those prospects send me screenshots, and then
Yeah.
they buy my product.
Well, it's like, in that, if you see that happening, then just like you have to train yourself to go, all right, that's his fuck up. Like, my shit's the best. I don't know why he's going to that guy. Like, and then just move on. Like, or just say he'll be back. You know, he's probably secretly following me but paying him. Right?
Happens a lot.
And I mean, that may or may not be the truth, but it's a level of disconnection in your own mind to just keep you moving forward. Because like, and if your messaging is good, it's congruent, it's who you are, it's true, like, and it works, like, then stick to the path. Like, that person making the mistake that leaves or does that, or the follower, like, they'll figure that shit out eventually. And some people are just drawn to different people. Like a lot of people like Jason Capital and don't like me. A lot more people like me that may not like Jason Capital style. We're teaching a lot of the same stuff, but some people are drawn to me, some are drawn to him. Some people are drawn to Elliot Hull, some people are drawn to Brandon Carter, some people are drawn to Christian Guzman, some people are drawn. It's certain personalities that you just start being polarizing and putting yourself out there. Certain types of people connect. Like, I'm not the I don't like the fast-paced life that like a Jason Capital lives. I'm more beach, relaxed. That's why, and that bleeds through with my events and what I'm doing and what I want to portray. I know that's not for everybody. Some people might be like, Florida, oh God, it's hot, it's lazy. Like, they would only come to an event in Orange County or LA or, you know, New York. So it's just, it also kind of, it's like, what do you want to portray, and like, you're going to attract those people. The clearer you get in your messaging and what you stand for, like, you're just going to attract the right people. And you'll see a lot of people that don't like you, because naturally people like to talk. Like, they like to comment. So, but yeah, so I hope that helped there. So yeah, be transparent in your actions. Show and tell what you're doing. Like, if you're selling to people, like, let them know. Hey, I'm going to sell to you. Like, Dan Locke does that very well, and he makes a lot of money. He's not ashamed of the fact that he sells you a $2,500 product. He's a massive conviction and belief in that product. If you're selling something, you have to believe in it so much that you're like, yeah, you bought my product? What the fuck? Why not? Like, it's so, but also people don't like the bait and switch. So if you're selling one thing but teaching another, like, people don't like that. And as transparent and the way that the internet is going, and it's even worse, like, it's going to be even worse, like, they need to see everything. Like, you know, and the more transparent you are with your actions, the better it's going to be. Like I can make an entire 5-minute video and be like, how is that? I fucking manipulated your brain there, didn't I? Like if I didn't say that, but now that I said that, people are like, wow, he did. Like, so it's like it works. But just being transparent in what you're doing, and people like to follow along journeys too. Like if you have like a t-shirt company, people want to like see the process of it being built. Don't hide the fact that you're getting t-shirts, show the process of making the t-shirts. Like, that's why, like, and we'll talk about some other like live stuff. People want to be a part of the journey. People want to be a part, like creating a product. Yeah, people will still buy a created product already, but if they can be part of the Q&A process during the product being filmed, that's more valuable, and that's bringing them along and showing and telling what you're doing. And I think that the more you can do that and integrate that into what you're teaching, the better. That's why I like social proof. Like when you see me selling something, like I'm like literally refreshing my email account to show the sales coming in. And so how hard do I have to sell it if like I hit refresh and people see like 5 sales come in? Like now you can manipulate the timing and everything so it looks perfect when you do that, but that's social proof. That's real. Like so it's like, and like I don't boast, like I wanted this room only held 84 people. Like, and looking at it now with, I think there's like, I don't know how many people are in here actually right now. I don't think we could have held 84 people if I sold 80 tickets. But like I was very transparent. I don't like to put fake numbers and shit on stuff. You should still have scarcity and timers and things counting things down, but be transparent. Like I only have this. I'm only taking this many people. I'm only doing this, and show that process because that builds trust, loyalty, and people like that. And last thing for extreme authenticity is likability. Pretty much on social media, people just want to like other people, and they want to be like other people, and they want to relate to other people. So the more you can show likability and relatability, Cialdini talks about that a lot in his book, Influence. I think it's the most powerful quality you can have if you're showcasing and focusing your interest on like Instagram and like things of that, and vlogging and things like YouTube. I think likability is the key. Like you may not know why you follow somebody, but you're like, I don't know, I just like them. Like, I mean, and I know I joke about it, but I follow a couple people like, I don't like them, but I still follow them. Because I'm like, I don't like that guy, but I like his stuff. Like, it's like likability, but he's polarizing to me. So with likability, once you start sharing beliefs and massive conviction, you're going to naturally have that. You're going to attract other people to like the same things that you do. And this is like, I know this is very generalized, like what does likability actually mean? It's just like, in my opinion, it's like being a cool person, sharing what you're doing, living what you're talking about, showing proof of what you can get people, and helping people get to where you think they want to be. And that comes out in your beliefs and convictions and what I call likability. So it's something like share beliefs. Insider knowledge is another one to build likability. Like who likes the guy that tells them a secret? Like, yo, yeah, you want to save $10 at Chipotle? I'll tell you. Like, it's called line item. like I share, that's likability. Like, I don't know, like, hey, dude, he told me how to like get free movie passes. He introduced me to so-and-so and I got this from so-and-so. People, like, they want to like people that give them like insider tips, insider knowledge. So the more you can share that, and that comes with also showing the process, being a part of the process. Like, all these things kind of work together. There's no like specifics. Like, I don't make a video going, I'm going to be a likable video today. It's just like you naturally just have to have these qualities. Same interests. If you like water polo and somebody else likes water polo, naturally you guys are going to like each other. If you went to a fraternity and he went to a fraternity, you're going to like each other. Like these things, like everybody has different likable qualities. This is kind of writing them down and figuring out what they are. And those things then even comes back to your style. Like if you're naturally trying to talk to frat guys, there's a certain style that frat boys have that you should probably adopt. Like, and these things, like, you should probably just drink beer. Like, these things you can do, which then transfers over into your content, which makes you likable, which makes them trust you, which then again opens them up to buy from you. So, and next thing is like sharing, and this is probably the most important, is just sharing stories. And this goes with being transparent and showcasing your flaws. If you can tell a good story about something, people are naturally drawn to listen to your story. And if it's a good story, they're like, oh man, I can't believe you shared that with me. Like, that's awesome. So the more stories you share, the more people will like you because they're going to attach to certain things. And stories are more, in my opinion, more important than facts. Like if you can tell a good story about something, or you can show a book of facts about something, the people are going to buy from the story. like most all like copywriters and people like that, they basically say lead with stories. Like, that's why if you read any sales page or any webinar, there's always a story about like, and generally they follow the same format. It's like what they call the hero's journey. Like the more you can share your hero's journey, like a lot of people, you're going to hear that I made a BMX DVD a fuck ton this weekend. You're also going to hear that I failed, I created an SEO business and that like kind of came out from under me. Like these things are part of my hero's journey. It's like, I did this and I fucked up. I figured this out. Now I'm awesome. Everybody wants to follow the guy that's awesome, but they also want to know where you fucked up and what you've been through. And it builds, it's a history. It builds your timeline. It builds everything about you that makes you like, that's why every webinar, like I just ruined for every webinar, every like sales page you're ever going to read, you're going to see it now. Oh, and the hero story doesn't necessarily have to be about you. It can be about a client. It could be about like your mother. It could be about your father. It could be about a friend of yours. But if you intertwine that with things that you teach, then it becomes a story. So I urge you guys to share a lot of stories and create a lot of stories around the content and things that you're selling. So that's extreme authenticity. I'm doing good at time. All right. Next up, the third quality of the 6 triggers is manufacturing celebrity. Now, nobody wants to follow people that look average and boring. That's why there's paparazzi to take pictures. Like paparazzi takes pictures of people that are important, right? So you should start taking pictures of yourself. And we'll get into that later. But the first thing I have is association. And what that means is you need to associate yourself with people of importance. And the level of importance is very relative. Like, it could just be somebody that has a local restaurant that's popular in your town. But if you're hanging out with him and then you mention, hey, this is Johnny, he has 6 restaurants in the tri-state area and he's killing it. Go check him out. Now, and let's say that you're teaching local marketing to businesses. Somebody lands on your page, they see you with an important restaurant guy. They don't fucking know who this guy is. But you associate yourself with a successful restaurant owner. And this comes across in pictures, videos, testimonials. You always want to be associating yourself with people that are, in my opinion, either at your level or above. Now this is not saying that you should never take pictures with your friends and people that are just friends, but know that there's certain pictures and content you need to be producing that is manufacturing you as a person that important people talk to. And that's what you want to be. That's why being a connector, like you tell people where to go, you do this, that's a very good quality to have as well. So pics with people bigger than yourself. That's it. And that is very relative. Depending on what niche you're going to try to go into, it could just be in broadcasting, it could just be a radio personality. I would have no idea who that is, but in your industry, people will know. And these aren't these can be just, and you want to frame stuff like this as casual conversations, or you don't want it to seem forced. A picture of you two just drinking coffee looks a lot better than you two just Yeah. So if you can manufacture these pics, manufacture celebrity to look, that it looks natural, and I was just casually sharing a coffee with so-and-so. Not, check us out, selfie. That's not saying that selfie is not important, because it is. But if you can manufacture it, the better. And this can happen, if you know where a lot of people are going to be, where there's a lot of celebrities in your niche and you want to get pictures, you hire a photographer to kind of stand back on the wayside, and just when you're having a casual conversation with so-and-so, they just that's manufacturing celebrity. Association, pics with people bigger than yourself. Learning and knowledge. If you're learning, you should always be telling people how much you're learning. What books you're reading, what seminars you're going to, where you're traveling to, why you're there. These don't have to be the greatest pictures. I urge you to make them better than average, because we talked about that earlier. But, you on a plane seat with a book traveling to a seminar, that's a cool pic. With a story about why you're going, that's manufacturing celebrity. Malik flew from Michigan to Florida to learn from a guy named Ryan. They don't fucking know who I am, but Malik, he's investing in himself. He's investing in education. He looks like he's bettering himself. People want to follow people that better themselves. So, like I said, in all this, it's you could literally just be sitting at the coffee shop with a magazine, like Cosmo, and just say, I'm reading I'm reading the articles, and it's but that's different things like that to manufacture, learning and knowledge. And lastly, for association, is client success. The more successful, case studies, proof, you can associate yourself with, the stronger your messaging is going to be, and the more people are going to be drawn to you. Like, I mean, I would say that the most important thing, I mean, at the end of the day, nobody's like, you can convince and persuade people to buy your product, and they will buy your product, but if your product doesn't get them results, they're never going to buy another product. Your shit has to fucking work. Like, or it's just a one-off thing. And that's fine if you're in the business of one-offs. Like, there's a lot of successful people that just sell one product. Like, there's the entire fat loss market is made up of people that just buy and sell, like, they sell one-off products. Like, I'm convinced they don't even, I mean, you've seen this, Frank, and I'm convinced they don't even give a shit what happens to people if they eat this way. I know, and this is me sharing a story, I created a diet called the Atom Bomb Diet, which is how to lose 17 pounds in 11 days. And the story behind this was, I was getting ready to go on a bachelor party cruise, and I know water manipulation. And I also knew that I could sell two people's products very well that were selling good at the time, and I was an affiliate in the fitness niche. And I was like, how can I stand out and be polarizing? Like, now people make those claims all the time. 17 pounds, like, that's it. Like, I mean, fuck, Vince gained, what, 97 pounds of muscle in 4 days? Like, like, now it's like normal to make bold claims. But back then it was just like, and I was going to give it away for free. So if anybody's interested in what it was, all it was I was starving myself and doing 2 workouts a day and not drinking anything. And let me tell you, when I showed up for the cruise, I had the outline. Like, I was good. I took the proper before, like, I ate a bunch of salty foods the day before, so I was like super fat. And then at the end, I did it was great. And I gave like 10,000 people that free report, made a lot of money from it. But I don't even know where I was going. But like, I was my own success in that case because it did work. And but I had to like have a giant disclaimer. Like, I was like, I could possibly get sued and people could die if they do this. So like, I had to have that disclaimer there, and I did. And I was like, oh, send it out. And that thing got fucking shared. Like, that was when people actually shared PDFs. Now a lot of people don't really share PDFs. People were fucking sad. I got a lot of traffic from that PDF. But like, again, it was polarizing, but it did work. And I actually had people that were like, and I positioned it as a, like, the before vacation type of thing. It was like, and literally I said, how to lose 17 pounds in 11 days for an event. And I opened up with a story of why I was doing it. I'm going to a bachelor party. I wanted to look better than all my friends. Like, and then that's what it was. But it was like, but client successes, like, you know, it's just the more proof, like before and after, screenshots, social proof, sales actually coming in, you know, people saying your name and how much you've helped them. Like, you can never have too much of that if you're selling a product online. Because people are very, like, I mean, would you guys all say you bought enough products online, you're pretty fucking skeptical of people that sell you shit online, correct? You're not alone. The entire world is skeptical. So you have to convince them. Next up is, where are we at? Better than average, the next is better than average content. I went over this in the polarization. This also works for manufacturing celebrity. When I started making my Instagram stories the way I did, the biggest results and the biggest compliments didn't come from like customers and people that would actually buy from. It was actually coming from like friends. Like, my stories are like the first thing I've ever done that my girlfriend's friends actually give a shit about. And like, they watch my stories because they're like, Ryan's making awesome stories, and I get to see your daughter, and I get to see what you guys are doing. It's awesome. Up until then, you know, it could be a Kindle bestseller, make 6 figures, fucking inspire 50 people to do shit. They don't fucking care. But when I started making content that was polarizing and appealing and looked better than what everybody else put out, that made me now seem more of like a celebrity. And even Kristen, like, she gets the celebrity effect from that. Like, when she, like, what do they call, like what do they call you? Or was it Fran called you? Like, when we went to Hawaii.
Oh, she's like, I don't even know you anymore.
Yeah, like, I don't even know you anymore. You're going to Hawaii. Like, it's. Yeah, yeah, they've been friends forever. Like, and then another thing too is, like, and I'm going to share this later. A lot of the, like, I'm working myself and Savannah are creating content for local businesses. I'm targeting local businesses that have seen me make stories inside their venues. Like, they already know I can make dope shit. Like, I'm polarizing to them because I'm already doing it. Like, and they see that. Like, you know, but, you know, locally, like Malik, people know you for making stories, correct? You create like, in a local area, if you just made stories locally at cool places, like, I'm not saying you should do that for businesses and get paid for it, because that's a pretty good business. Like, you get known as the guy that makes stories, and people want to include you. Hey, are you gonna film a story today? Like, we were at one of her friends got engaged, and like I wasn't gonna film, like, because I was trying to be respectful, because like you always end up being the guy with the fucking camera. Like, sometimes it's good or bad. But I literally was like, I put my camera away, and everyone's like, Ryan, aren't you gonna get this? You gonna film it? I was like, I'm just trying to be. They're like, no, she'd want you to film it. Go film it. And I'm like, okay. So like he's on this one knee, and I'm like, like, but it creates a polarization. It creates celebrity. Same thing with pictures. Like the act of having somebody take a picture with you, of you. That's why I use the term paparazzi a lot. Make your own paparazzi. Like, I have paparazzi. Like, it's that normal people don't have paparazzi. Like, normal people take selfies and get the occasional Instagram photo, but the second you take it of you, and this is not easy to do. Like, I get it's hard to always have this happening, but as you start getting better and you start creating teams and systems in place that you can do this quickly, that's when it all starts happening. Like, I don't post selfies on my fucking Instagram anymore. Like, I don't think they're the most professional pics always, but they're just better than average, and they look cool, and they make me appear a little more important and cooler than I actually am. Like, that's it. That's all you're trying to go for. Yeah, so paparazzi, and then by putting out less but better content. So I know that kind of contradicts, because the next one I'm going to talk about is consistency. But if you put out 4 videos a week that are awesome, as opposed to 7 that are mediocre, a lot of people would say, like, if you follow a lot of people online, they would say go, do the mediocre, but more. I just think your baseline should be decent enough that they all look awesome. And as you keep developing your skills, that baseline is going to increase. If you're going to go into consistently posting daily content, pick whichever one is best for your strengths. If you're not a good video guy yet, don't make videos every day. Just post pictures, write captions. If you can't take good pictures, if you think you're really ugly, then just take a cool picture of something and write a good caption. But focus on your strengths at first, because once you need to develop one of the platforms to a measurable success to then use that platform to bleed out to others. And that is very important. If you try to start out doing everything at once, you will fail, because they're all fucking hard. Making YouTube videos is not easy, despite what the world wants you to think. Just like being an Instagram influencer. And I mean, you guys saw how hot it was yesterday on the roof? Try changing to 4 different outfits and traveling to different locations and taking pictures and not look like a sweaty mess. It's not easy, but it's part of the job. And as you get better, two things. You develop the skills to get better at quickly creating content. So I talk about your baseline becomes better. And you should always be working on increasing your baseline, so honing your craft, whether it be videos, pictures, writing, all of these things, like whichever one your main focus is, just continue to get better at that, so where I can write Instagram captions very quickly, and they're better than what most people could pump out. It would take them an hour to put out what I can go in the bathroom and take a poop and pump out. Like, that's the reality of it. And then also, as you get better, you put systems in place to where you can constantly create content, like at a fast pace. Like when I was in my studio, everything was set up. All the lights were wired together with one thing. So I hit one switch and everything would turn on. My camera was always there. It was always charged. So when I knew, I'm like, all right, I'm filming videos today, I just turned the light on. I turned my ring light on because that was the only light that wasn't on the same thing. I went bip, and I hit record, and I stepped back, and I started filming. No barriers. Because if I had to set up lights every time, if I had to do this, I wouldn't get it done. So put systems in place to help you create the content that you need to create faster. And that could be creating your own presets for your picture. So all you do is upload the picture, check a box, done. Now it's going to take you some time to figure out what that preset is. But these are things that color correcting on videos. I don't really color correct much. I just know that I turn everything up 5%. So it's like no brainer. 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, boom, hit save, cut, boom, export, done. The faster you get at that, the quicker you can create content. And then also systematizing the content that you're creating. If you see a pattern that you're pumping out videos and you kind of like it, look at what you're doing so you can kind of create a template in your brain. Like a lot of the videos that you're seeing that I'm posting out on like my profile right now, it's me talking. I show a 10-second clip of something that I'm referencing, and then I finish the point about what that clip was about. That's a template. That clip is always something relevant that somebody bigger than me is talking about. And then I just respond to what they said and validate or invalidate the point. It's a template. I have that because if I have to make a video every day, I'm not going to do it. It's too much work. So create systems and templates and just generally get better and faster. Next up is keep messaging congruent on all platforms. Last year, at the last icon, I talked about what I called the living sales letter. And that kind of breaks apart like direct response and copy. I urge everybody, for one, you must be living and breathing what you're preaching and what you're doing. A living sales letter. Like it's not hard to sell abs if you have abs. It's not hard to teach wealth if you own a Bentley and have a house on the water. Or it's not hard to teach personal development if you've struggled and battled with anxiety and you became a new person. Live and breathe what you preach, but keep all of that messaging congruent across all of the platforms. Because as you guys grow, you're going to be doing shit on YouTube, podcasts, written stuff, blogs, Instagram. Your messaging should be the same. Don't be one person on YouTube and somebody else over here. Keep it all congruent. And that's very hard to do. I struggled with that for a very long time when I started YouTube because my YouTube was fashion, but my Instagram was kind of going more business and branding. So I had to make the decision to do everything the same. And I haven't attacked YouTube as much as I want to because Instagram's just been so good. But it's all congruent. And then create a content schedule. Don't guess what you're posting every day. Take a day at the beginning of the week, at the beginning of the month, and map out the content. And we'll touch more on this tomorrow. I'll help you guys really get clear on what that looks like. But just know what you're posting and when you're posting it. You know, it might not be the best times, it might not always be the best stuff, but consistently showing up. Let's see. Next up we have, so the next quality, number 5, is surprise and shock and awe. And once you kind of start doing all of this as it starts working for you, you will have this surprise and shock and awe factor at all times. The first thing is obviously being polarizing. That creates a shock and awe value. Couple ways, and we're going to talk about this more in the presentation tomorrow. Either you're for or against something. Make a hard decision. Yes, keto, no paleo. Yes, keto, no carb. You know, rich, poor, black, white, Christianity, Judaism. Like hard, you like me or you don't. Complete opposites of looks. What you're wearing, how you dress, how you present your content. Are you dark and edgy? Are you light and happy? Very clear and defined, decisions for people to make. Ideologies, are you do you have like advanced ideas on computer and AI? Do you think people are going to be stupid? Always, these are all things that go into you being polarizing. Your humor. Are you witty and sharp? Are you like people generally, they want to be like, they like people that make them laugh. That's why we're going to have a comedian here tonight. It's funny, humor's light, but if you're an edgy comedian or a PG-13 comedian, you're one or the other. G-rated, Disney Channel or porn. Like make a decision, like hard line. And then your personality. Some people are just naturally polarizing personally. Lean into your strengths. If that means you talk really loud and obnoxious, cool. Does that mean, you're just kind of chill and relax and you just hang out? Lean into it. Don't be one here, this here, this here. Keep it all congruent. Next up for surprise and shock and awe is changing up your style and content frequently. I dress and look a lot different now than when I did and I made my first YouTube videos like 2.5 years ago. Be willing to, make it calculated. Don't do it just to do it. But if you want to start representing something or start attracting a certain type of person, don't be afraid to completely adopt that personality or adopt that thing. But then again, you have to have the conviction and belief. You have to own that. Don't half-ass it. I do this a lot. 2 years ago, I swore off sneakers. Didn't last. But I went a year without sneakers. And when you talk to me, I was like, nope, fuck sneakers. No. I was very strong beliefs in that. And a lot of people like that. You know, they came to that. And a lot of people still don't wear sneakers because I said that. But I was like, well, they're a little more comfortable than double monks, even though I like double monks. You know, this will naturally keep, and then even style of content. If you're known as like Elliot's a one-take video guy, like kind of like he just goes. If Elliot just one day just like decided he was going to make short, punchy 1-minute videos, that's shock and awe. That's different. That makes people that have been watching a while pay more attention. And again, you got to be ready because they may not like it, but you just keep going. And last thing is do things others won't. A couple like best things is better than expected service. Like if you may be selling like higher quality products, higher price products, but your follow-up sucks, so make sure your follow-up is good. If you see that most people's processes are lacking something, you want to stand out, you make that the sole purpose of what you're doing. You look for holes in successful people's businesses where you can fill, and you do it better than them. Like look for ways that you can stand above and beyond them. You may, like live calls are another one. Like a lot of people, like we were talking yesterday, like video DMs. Like when you have a following, I don't really care how big you get, you can check your DMs. You see the numbers. Yes, they get overwhelming if you have millions, but unless you have over 100,000 followers on any of your platforms, chances are you still see all your messages. Some people just choose not to respond. But if you're a person and like somebody asks you a question, they may not buy anything, but you just open up your phone and you go video DM and you film a 15-second answer, send it to them, what do you think that person's going to think of you? Holy shit, he's fucking sent me a video. Think they're going to probably buy something eventually? Those are above and beyond different ways to position yourselves. And then just randomly, like somebody's like random free calls. Like I did a couple best Instagram comment wins a free 15-minute call. Most of those calls for me went like an hour. I just didn't shut up. I kept talking to them because there was a lot. It was good intel for me. It was talking to my prospects. But what do you think that person's going to think later on? Yeah, I mean, was that a good use of my time? Maybe not. But I learned a lot, and I impacted one person. And I recorded the calls, and I have content if I need it. So these are just ways to stand out. So last but not least, I got to wrap this up, and we got Doug over there. What's up, man?
What's up, y'all?
There's DJ Fresh. All good. It's dark and dreary over there. So last but not least is exclusivity. This kind of goes with the higher priced products, goes with the mystique, goes with the celebrity. The more exclusive you seem, the more people are naturally drawn to want to work with you. This kind of works with, the hotter a girl is, the more guys want to sleep with her. Like, it's the mystique. You want to have that in your content and in your marketing in some way, shape, or form. So just to reiterate, the first way is higher priced products. Easiest way to do it. People wonder what is inside. If he's giving away this good shit, which you guys should all be giving away good free shit, what does he give away for $3,000? I have to know. And then they pay you. Next up would be limited runs. If anybody in here follows, I tend to, I love fashion, so I follow they call it the hype beast culture, like Yeezy, Supreme, all these things. They have such exclusivity, and it's almost impossible to get some of their stuff, which makes everybody fucking want it. People waited on a New York City block for like a day and a half to get a brick that said Supreme. A brick. This isn't real bricks, but it said Supreme. And they paid like $300 for a fucking brick. They sold out in 15 minutes. Yeezys are a lot easier to get now than they once were, but when they first came out, only celebrities had them. Like, Kendall and Kylie Jenner were the only ones wearing the new Yeezys. You think Kanye did that on purpose? Here you go, girls. Like exclusivity. When everybody can't buy it or afford it, they want it more and more and more. Next up there, so limited runs, Supreme, Yeezys, hypebeast culture. Those are just references. Like Apple does this with phones. Like the first day, it's like impossible to get the new phone. Like people wait in line in New York City. Like, they want to be first. And last but not least, for exclusivity is scarcity. You guys have seen this on a lot of my marketing. Countdown timers, limited spots, limited seats. If you limit anything or make it harder for people to get in or make them act faster, they're going to be more apt to do it. And people do, and like the nature of the world, like people need skin in the game and they need to be pushed over the edge. Like most people that came here bought they either bought Vertical Influence because I gave a free ticket, but that was the bonus. So The bonus was if you buy Vertical Influence before this date, you get a free ticket to Icon. And I had a hard cutoff. Like that was that. Like that was a great bonus for a lot of guys here, you know. But it pushed people over the edge. You know, other ones are just like exclusive. Like maybe it's a one-on-one call, maybe it's coaching. Like however you can add limited and exclusive things to force people to act, because most people are lazy. They're gonna go home. Like, I mean, you guys have probably done it. I've like wanted to buy something and I've kept the tab open on my computer for a while. Got busy, forgot about it, came back, and I was like, went to buy it, like, oh shit, I can't buy it, it's sold out. Like, they didn't throw me a bonus. If they would have said, we're gonna give you free overnight shipping, I'd have been like, bip. Like, you know, push people over the edge, make it easier, and force people to act. And that can come in a lot of different ways, and we can talk about more of that tomorrow during product creation and stuff. But just get people to take an action. And also understand that even if they buy stuff, a lot of people just sometimes don't give a shit. Like, there's some people that canceled here. I was like, I don't know why you buy an event if you don't plan to fucking come. Like, doesn't make any sense to me. But people do it. Like, you know, it's like if people, you need people to act, but also just understand sometimes it still doesn't even fucking matter.